You know, I didn't get it. You can't cut it.
You can't stand up?
No, you stand up more than you think about it.
Mine was tender.
Well, that's the block we're rooting for you.
Old Dr. Bracy.
Hey, sir. How are you?
Well,
You
man.
guys play tomorrow.
I don't know.
Good. How's Caleb doing?
Are they good?
Good evening.
I'd like to welcome you all to the October 9th, 2025 special meeting, public work session of the Portsmouth Public School Board. I now call this meeting to order. As you please stand now for a brief moment of silence, followed by the pledge by Dr. Walker. Thank you, Dr. Walker.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Agenda item 2.4 is the mission statement. Dr. Walker.
The mission of the Portsmouth Public School Division is to engage all students in learning that will foster academic excellence and responsible citizenship.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 2.5 is attendance. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson? Here. Mrs. Boone? Here. Dr. Cotton?
He's here.
He's here.
Mrs. Futrell? Ms. McSwain?
Here.
Mrs. Sessoms? Here. Ms. Shoemake?
Here.
Dr. Walker?
Here.
Dr. Patillo?
Here.
8 are present.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 3.1 is a closed session item. We only have one item under that agenda item, so it should not take us long for that. But I asked if our vice chair could take us in the closed meeting at this time. I'm sorry, I missed something else. Oh, I'm sorry. Agenda item 2.6, approval of the agenda for October 9th. I entertain the motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Shoemake, second by Ms. Boone. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Boone? Yes. Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Ms. McSwain?
Yes.
Ms. Sessoms? Mrs. Sessoms?
Yes.
Ms. Shoemake?
Yes.
Dr. Walker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
The vote is unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 3.1 is now closed meeting. I asked if our vice chair could take us in the closed session at this time.
I move that the board enter into a closed meeting under the provisions of section 2.2-3711 of the Code of Virginia for the following purpose: consideration of personnel matters, including the assignment, performance, and resignation of specific school employees as permitted under subsection A.1, and consideration of requests for religious exemption from school attendance as permitted under subsection A.2.
Thank you.
Second by Ms. Boone. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Boone? Yes. Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Ms. McSwain?
Yes.
Mrs. Sessoms?
Yes.
Ms. Shoemake?
Yes.
Dr. Walker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
The vote is unanimous.
Thank you so much. We're now into the closed meeting at this time. Please.
It happened.
I thought y'all were trying to go to RB's. I mean,
Got y'all next time. Missed the opportunity. I'll wait a second. All right. What is this?
he was asleep too.
Vice Chair made the motion. Ms. Boone second. It was unanimous.
Like legit. Like it's this. And that's it.
We do it once they open the door. Open the door and they come in.
All right. Amen. Agenda item 4.1, consideration of religious exemption case number 2025-26/06. I entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Boone and second by Ms. Futrell, I believe. All right. All right. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Boone? Yes. Dr. Cotton? Ms. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. McSwain?
Yes.
Mrs. Sessoms?
Yes.
Ms. Shoemake?
Yes.
Dr. Walker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
The vote is unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 4.2 is consideration of a contract number 1097-P-2425, which is construction management for the PACE Center. This did go through our procurement process and went through the committee for approval and is now presented to the board for approval at this time. I entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval. Second.
Motion by Ms. Shoemake, second by Dr. Walker. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Boone?
Yes.
Ms. Futrell?
Yes.
Ms. McSwain?
Yes.
Ms. Sessoms?
Yes.
Ms. Shoemake?
Yes.
Dr. Walker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
The vote is unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 4.3 is discussion for the 26-27 Portsmouth School Division calendar. Dr. Bracy or Dr. White? Oh, I'm sorry, Lauren.
That's all right.
I'm going around the table, okay?
Good evening, Chairman Patillo, Vice Chair Atkinson, and members of the board. Tonight, I am bringing to you the instructional calendar options and some feedback for 26-27 school year. As you may remember, at your board retreat this summer, we brought to you 4 options for consideration for the instructional calendar. Hearing the board's desire to make sure that there was professional development built into the school calendar, we moved forward with 2 of those options to get public feedback, and tonight I am going to share the results of that feedback with you. Just as a reminder, the 2 options you have, option A, which would be an August 24th first day of school, which is a 2-week pre-Labor Day start, and then with the last day of school would be June 11th. With option B, we had an August 10th first day of school, which would be a 4-week pre-Labor Day start. The benefit of this calendar being that we'd be able to complete the first semester ahead of winter break, moving forward with that. So with our 2 options, we met with Dr. Bracy's student advisory group, staff advisory group, and parent advisory group to get their feedback on what they thought of these 2 calendars. While we did not do any sort of polling inside the room, I can tell you candidly that based on the conversations, there was a lot of support for the August 10th start date calendar. You'll see a lot of pros and cons under August 10th because it was new. There were a lot of ideas that were brought together. I should say the cons, I wouldn't say those were deal breakers for the advisory group members. It was more things that they wanted to make sure administration was considering if we were to move ahead with that August 10th start date. The biggest pro, of course, being the fact that the first semester testing would be finished by ahead of winter break. There's a typo on that slide I just saw. We'll fix that. And the biggest con being the fact that we would have a shortened summer break again for the 3rd year in a row. Similarly with August 24th, the biggest pro is the fact that families are used to this school calendar and that summer break would be fuller. The con is that they would not get out until June 11th, mid-June, with that calendar option. Of course, this was just some of the qualitative data that we gathered with these advisory groups. We also did have a division-wide survey that ran from Monday, September 15th through Friday, September 26th. We had more than 2,700 people who responded to the survey, so we like to think of that as a pretty good response. It was basically a 2-to-1 in support of the August 24th start date instead of the August 10th start date. You can see the closest margin that we had was with our staff-only group. We did have respondents share whether they were staff, parents, or also staff and parents within the division. But again, that 2-to-1 for the August 24th start date. As such, in hearing from our community and your constituents, we are recommending option A, the August 24th start date for the 26-27 school year. By way of a reminder, this calendar includes 5 professional development days, 3 staff days or teacher work days, observances of the Veterans Day, Martin Luther King Jr. and President's Day holidays, a 3-day Thanksgiving break, and 2-week winter break. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you so much. I first want to say thank you for the work you put into putting the calendar options together, and also for thinking enough of the staff, the parents, to do a survey to get their feedback on that as well as your meetings with the staff advisory and parent advisory committees as well. Do we have any questions for Lauren at this time? Vice Chair and then
Thank you, Chair. For the option A with the August 24th start date, is that saying spring break is March 29th through April 2nd? Is that when spring break is?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And that's in line with the region.
Okay. And I just want to thank the team because I see that there's a professional development day, a full professional development day, a staff day, and then we head into spring break. So I just want to commend you all on combining that, and I'm pretty sure the teachers will love that as well.
Miss, you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
Miss White.
Thank you, Chair. Also, I wanted to just point that out about the staff days as well. I did hear one of the teachers when she came up at our last meeting, so I thank y'all so much for taking that into consideration too.
Thank you. Yeah, Mrs. McSwain, that was already in the calendar.
Before she came up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It was already there.
That was part of the survey.
But look, she left it hanging over my head, so thank you, Dr. Brace. I should have known. I should have known.
We didn't go back and make any revisions. It was already.
Now you do, right?
I should have known he had it covered.
I believe Mr. Falk, we did have a question from the board members in reference to that there's been some questions about the 10+1 employees and their, I guess, initial pay dates with that new calendar. Could you explain?
Yes, sir. So with the 10+1 employees, we have only a certain amount of time that we can pay those checks within the summer. This year, it was, because we started early, the first payment of school division employees was going to be, for the 11 month, it was going to be August the 1st, I believe. So we only had, normally they had 4 pay periods where we could pay them over a 4 pay period time frame. This year we had to condense that into 3 pay periods to start the new contract on August the 1st. So every year, if we go earlier, it's going to condense that time. So depending on the pay periods, and it really is the pay periods that are out there. So their checks were, instead of getting 2 checks, they had to get 3 checks this year. So it was a smaller check in order to ensure that they would get that first check on August 1st, if that makes sense, because the time frame was compressed. So next year, that same thing will happen. I think it will be 3 checks instead of 4. Because of the time frame, depending on either calendar, to get the contracts in and get that first payroll out, we would still have to condense it into 3 checks instead of that 4 check time frame. So their checks would be a little bit smaller than what they would normally accustomed to, if that makes sense. It's just the timing of when we have to start that new payroll, because we can't pay a deferred check and a regular check at the same time, if that makes sense.
And just for clarification, their money isn't being cut. They get
No.
the same amount of money.
It's just the number of checks that we take it out of, where they were accustomed to getting 2 some years or what have you. We may have to do it over a 3 check cycle to make sure that we can get them all in. The money is still the same in total. It's just how it's broken up. And this year, because it was so late when we had it, I don't think the communication went out. This year, depending on whatever calendar option we're going to take, as soon as that decision is made, we will get documentation and communication out to those 11-month employees. Here's what it'll look like for the summer, so they can plan.
So this is for 10, thank you,
10 plus
Chair.
1.
10+1 and 10+2?
10+1.
Was one.
Okay,
Yeah,
now what
10+1.
about the 10+2?
They'll be 12 months, so they get checks the whole year regardless. They don't
Now-
stop getting them.
So, but the question, I think, so you're telling me that basically because of fringe benefits and how they run, or is it just
No, ma'am.
because of?
So the 11-month employees, normally their checks start, in prior years, they would start in August.
Okay.
So that first check would be in August. If we pull up, if the calendar is moved up, that first check might start in July, which means we only have a certain amount of time between the end of the school year and that July payroll to get those checks in. So depending on how the pay cycles work, we might not have time to get 3-4 checks in. We might have to do it in 3 checks and then that new check start. And see what would have happened this year if we stayed with the same schedule, they wouldn't have gotten their first check for August until August the 29th. So we wanted to make sure that they did not miss a cycle. They would have missed, it would have been a month between their last deferred check and their new check for the new school year. So we wanted to make sure that they didn't have a lapse in pay. So we made the adjustment on the deferred checks to ensure that they were paid on time for the new school year's check.
So if they start on the 24th, which seems to be the overwhelming suggestion, when would they receive their check?
I don't have the calendar in front of me, so I
Okay.
couldn't tell you right now. But I think it's going to be a similar process. If they start on the 24th, it probably will be a little more time that they would have versus the 10th. I will say that. If it's the 10th, we would have to do something similar than we did this year. If it's the 24th, we would have a little more time to get those checks in for summer deferrals.
But you're saying that as soon as we get this approved, then you're going to send communication so they can plan, so
Yes,
they
sir.
know ahead of time.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Do we have any other questions in reference to the calendar? No. Thanks so much, Lauren.
Thank
Great
you.
job. Thank you. Agenda item 4.4 is the PPS strategic plan update, igniting futures 2025 through 2030. I'm going to say Dr. Brace till you call somebody else.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Dr. White and Dr. DeVries will come and share. This is the update in terms of where we are with our new strategic plan. So they're going to highlight some of those key points there for us this evening.
Good evening, School Board Chair Dr. Patillo, Vice Chair Atkinson, school board members, and Dr. Bracy. Tonight, we're going to briefly just discuss and present our strategic plan, Igniting Futures 2025-2030, the Ignition Plan, our roadmap to accelerating student achievement, equity, and excellence over the next 5 years. Our objective with Igniting Futures is just to ensure that there's a tight alignment between the division strategic plan, the support we provide, and each school support plan. This alignment ensures that every action from the classroom to central office drives us towards the same outcomes for students. What is the Ignition Plan? Well, the Ignition Plan is, I don't want to call it our Bible, but that's pretty much what it is. It's what we follow. And we just want to make sure that all staff members, all teachers, all faculty members, everybody involved has the same plan in place. So with our strategic plan, we have 4 goals. And our first goal is to increase academic growth and achievement for all students, to expand access and innovative, high-quality learning experiences that prepare students for future success, to recruit, develop, and retain exceptional staff through strong professional development or professional support, and to foster a supportive and connective environment that meets the needs of students, staff, and families. This next slide is going to talk about the breakdown of what actually goes in to the Ignition Plan. And aside from our goal, we actually then include our primary action agendas, which Dr. Vries will be discussing in a few seconds, our strategies, and then how do we monitor or how do we progress, how is our students, we're looking at their progress, Right. Now, this is just, before she goes into it, this is just a quick sample of what it looks like. What we'll do is we'll identify the goal, then we'll come up with a strategic action item. And with this one, it says implement targeted literacy and math intervention programs. Our strategy is to implement a Reading 180 program at the secondary level. Then it'll talk about who's responsible for monitoring this, and then at the end we'll always have our quarterly progress.
All right, thank you, Dr. White. So I'm going to go through what our primary action items are that we're focusing on this year. I want to go back real quick because we haven't looked at our plan in a while. So I know it's very small, but underneath each goal you see those bullets. Those are our primary action items. Those are the things that throughout the 5 years we plan on focusing on, and each year we'll create a new ignition plan, which is kind of like our work plan, where we will identify, even though we may be working on everything, we'll identify which ones we're going to specifically focus on that particular year, and then how we're going to monitor that. So when you look at our plan, you may not ever see this actual document because this is our working document, but you'll see that there are those bullets in that plan are the actual steps that we're going to take. So for goal 1, increase academic growth and achievement for all students, we have 2 of the primary action steps or bullets under goal 1 that we're going to be specifically focusing on this year. One is implement targeted literacy and math interventions. The other one is focus on consistent high quality learning experiences for students in all classrooms. So what we did as a division is we came together and said, so what does that look like? What are we doing to address that primary action item? And you could see the 3 strategies that we're going to implement or have begun implementing and work on throughout the year. And we're going to collect data points throughout the year. At the end of the year, we'll report back to you and say, here's what we said we were going to do, here's what we actually did. Are we able to move on from that, or do we have to continue to work on it next year? So for goal 2, expanding access to innovative, high-quality learning experiences, again, we have 2 primary action steps that we're really focusing on this year. One, if you notice, has a great emphasis on CTE, as well as advanced coursework. And the second one is about implementing how are we integrating that project-based learning, real-world learning experiences into the classrooms, and we're going to do that by implementing our graduate profile learner progressions this year. That's our strategy. For goal 3, improve staff recruitment, retention, and professional development. This is largely the HR component, mixed in a little bit with my my Office of School and Teacher Quality that falls under my department. To ensure that we are focusing on our staff, their well-being, their salaries, wellness programs, etc. And then the second primary action item being to evaluate staff retention, job satisfaction, and professional growth initiatives. And then goal 4, we actually have 3 primary action items. Goal 4 is foster a safe and connected educational environment that supports student, staff, and family needs. This is very much like the goal that encompasses our finances, how we are using those, are we being fiscally responsible and meeting the school's needs with our finances, our operations, our community partners, how are we engaging them as well. So the first action step is actually around partnerships with families and community organizations. And we have 2 strategies that accompany that we're specifically focusing on this year. And the second primary action is to develop wraparound services that connect with families with division and community resources. And we have 3 specific strategies we will work on in that primary action item. And the third one is to enhance professional development for staff on safety and security best practices, as well as to make sure that our systems in place are effective. And that strategy is largely in the hands of our operations team. So those are the things we're working on this year. I know it's quick, but you have this PowerPoint. Feel free to ask any questions you may have. And we will report out to you at the end of the year on where we stand with all of those things we said we were going to accomplish this year. So with that, Dr. White and I answer any questions you might have.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions from board members in reference to the strategic plan? Ms. Atkinson.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Dr. White and Dr. DeVries. I just have a question on the Read 180 at the secondary level. How are we determining which students to target? Is it based on their specific, is there a specific SOL score that we're pulling them out for, or how is that going to work?
That's a great question. So this year is the first year through the Virginia Literacy Act that the LA that's required by the state, that we have to now screen students using the VALS screener that used to be for just pre-K through 3. Right. We now have to also give that in grades 4 through 8. And so for us, and we have to give that assessment to anybody who failed their, did not meet proficient on their reading SOL the year before. So we use that data, the SOL data, which then triggers the screener to decide who goes into the Read 180 block and who goes into an enrichment block.
Okay. So if I recall, like the data that was presented during the summer retreat, that was a huge percentage for the secondary. So when you say block, is it going to be like one block, or are we going to split those blocks?
That's a good question too. So we are fortunate that we have a structure currently in place, or we've had a structure where we have double blocked English at the middle school level. So they actually receive 2, instead of like an A day, B day, where they attend A day English and B day another class, they attend every day of the week for the full 90 to 100 minutes. That's called double blocking. So generally what they've been doing is just teaching the curriculum for both those blocks. That's not necessary. You could do it in one block. So instead of double blocking that English curriculum, we have our middle school English teachers on an A day, B day schedule this year, where A day, let's say A day, it might be B day, but one day they're teaching their actual English language arts block, meeting the SOLs, preparing the kids for that test. And the second day, they are running the interventions, which includes Read 180, or for those kids who don't qualify, there's always at least one teacher who's running an enrichment block, where we've purchased a lot of different curriculum materials to meet those kids' needs too.
And one final question. I know we have the plan for the Read 180 internally. How are we going to assist those children outside of school? I know we had the tutoring program, but is there anything else that we're going to implement to help them outside? So
individual schools have their own tutoring plans, and most of them, I would dare say, have a reading tutoring program that they're running or beginning to run after school. They bring in their community partners. They always have community partners knocking down the door to say, you know, we'd love to come and work with your kids on the tutoring program. So those are largely individualized based on the school. We don't mandate anything as a division. We don't set that up because each school is different and transportation gets involved. But I know that most schools run an after-school program, usually beginning around this time of year.
Thank you, Dr. DeVries.
Welcome.
Thank you. Any other questions? Ms. Futrell?
Thank you, Chair. So the only question I have, of course, goes to mental health. When we're talking about the website or portal with the resources, are we still talking about Here to Help, or are we talking about a totally different site?
So yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. You go. 'Cause that's your. Well, I was gonna say
You're the one.
Please, you're the one. Here to help us. Just take over. I'm sorry. Here to help us.
Dr. White said, I'm good.
Okay. Here to help is certainly part of that, and I believe they're also building out other resources. Dr. White can certainly do. Yes, that's all I know. I have the first 2 goals.
Threw me off. But one of the things that we talked about, and I shared with Dr. Bracey, is one of these sessions I wanted my team and I to come in and share every wraparound service that we may have, every mental health component that we have, just so you all can get a background of what we're looking to do, because we have Hazel Health, we have Centera, we have a lot of programs going on. So I think whenever available, my team and I will share
Okay.
and
That'd
have
be great.
a presentation. It's not a long one. But it's a good,
Okay.
it's a good.
It sounds like it. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Staff? Okay. All right, thank you so much. Agenda item 4.5 is agenda review for October 23rd, 2025. Of course, if you have any items you want to add to the agenda, please email myself or Dr. Brace so we can have that done for you, and staff can prepare in time for that meeting. Agenda item 4.6 are subcommittee reports. We do have our student representative here with us, Miss Alexis Daughtry, and I will ask her first if you have anything she'd like to add tonight to the meeting.
No, thank you. I'm just really excited to be here and bring stuff to the school year and all the schools in Portsmouth.
Nice.
All right, thank you so much.
Can I ask her a question? She can't wait.
Dr.
I was
Cotton.
asking her in a sidebar about the calendar. Just wanted to know how she felt as a student. Which option, even though you all, there's a lot involved with the calendar, but I just want to know your perspective.
To me, I would prefer the August 24th calendar.
Okay. Care to share why, or just want to leave it at that?
I like how the summer break is and the winter break is.
Okay, thank you for sharing.
Vice Jackson.
I just have a question for you, Miss Alexis. So, didn't get a chance to ask the last meeting, but we generally ask the student reps, like, what is their plan, or is there a specific item or subject that topic that they want to work on, that they're passionate about, that you want to just tackle?
To me, I care a lot about like home ec. And my mom was telling me about how she used to have that in her school when she went to school. And we don't really have that in school now because we don't, well, I know there is a teacher shortage. So we don't really have that in schools unless you take certain classes for it. And I feel like that's really important in growing up in school.
Definitely it is.
So that's what you're going to be an advocate
A second.
for? All right.
Yeah, I took home ec. I had Miss Celine there.
It's the only man I know remember every teacher he ever had. Okay.
I had Miss Celine there.
I didn't even know.
I know how to sew.
I learned that.
It was cool.
I do remember that.
Thank you, Alexis.
You're better.
Still agenda item 4.6, subcommittee reports. Do we have any reports at this time?
No, we're gonna save ours for the next one. The only thing I just wanted to say is that the SEAC meeting is October the 14th, so it would be before our next meeting, and it's the SH Clark 530 room 2, and that's the Special Education Advisory Committee.
Okay. All right. And I'll just give a brief update from my technology and operations meeting. As far as technology, that's the fun/boring stuff that Dean gives me. But actually, he's doing a great job strengthening our infrastructure. Itopia, which is a cloud platform that was has now been installed, and we're doing a mobile phone refresh for the departments within the school division as well. It's been a long time since they've done that. As far as operations, the PACE construction is on schedule. They last met on October the 2nd, and we're on schedule to be completed by July, correct?
Yes.
July of 2026. So that's great.
Okay.
Great news for that. The gymnasium at SH Clark is now being reassembled and actually cleaned and done over for student use and new directions. And that should be done by the week of November 10th, 2025. Window coverings are complete now at Waters Middle, Victory Elementary, Media Center, and the office complex at Churchland High School. The net schools that are being assessed for window coverings are Churchland Academy and Brighton on the schedule. A new gym floor is being installed currently at Douglas Park Elementary beginning Tuesday, October the 14th. A new gym floor has already been installed at Crawdad Middle School, and new scoreboards in the gym are scheduled to be installed at Crawdad Middle School the week of October 13th, next week. Y'all might want to know here. Renovations of the IC Norcom Athletic Complex are scheduled to begin between now and December 2025. That's done in conjunction with the city and the time schedule for that, of course. The boys and girls locker rooms are being renovated at Manor High School to reflect the Manor name change. So they'll be changed from the Wilson blue and orange to the Manor red. That's being done now as well. PPS will engage in the Stop the Prop initiative for all schools, which is being promoted by the Department of Criminal Justice Services. And the learning mobiles at Victory Elementary School are scheduled for completion the week of October 27th. And that's my report for operations and technology. Do you have anything else?
So is the Norcom sports plans, is that, then that is starting early, is that gonna be finished by next school year?
I don't think they have a completion date on it yet, so it probably won't be ready by the start of the school year, being they started so late on it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but again, that's gonna be based on the timeline with the city, and how to keep that done. Yep.
Are we still waiting on our scores to come back, the test scores?
The test scores, no, we got the regular test scores, and I think the state is giving us the cut scores.
We received the pass rates that was published a few weeks ago. Now we're just waiting on the state to finalize the designations, with whether you're distinguished, on track, off track.
Okay.
So that's next week, I think, is the date that they gave us.
Okay.
It was scheduled to be this week, but it got pushed back a week, so should be sometime next week when all that will come out. And what we will do at the next board meeting, we plan to go over that to make sure that everybody understands what that actually means for us.
Great, thank you.
And I'll be looking forward to the presentation, because I'm not sure we're all up to date with what they're doing with VDOE as far as the new standards they're putting in place on school districts, and it's gonna be tough on every school district. So I'm looking forward to see how it's going to possibly affect our school division and what the immediate future will look like because of that. So looking forward to that. Is there anything else? If not, all hearts and minds are clear. Thank you all. This meeting is now dismissed.
Thank you.